Drew and Willow were front and center this week on General Hospital, which left some viewers a little nauseous. Fortunately, he may have just sealed his fate. Sonny finally had his surgery, but he's not out of the woods yet. And Christina and Molly learned Alexis considered having Christina committed, which led to one of Christina's best lines in a long time. Let's discuss the week that was. I forgot to mention Drew's harebrained child custody document in last week's column, which he finalized this week. No judge in their right mind would turn over Wiley and Amelia to Drew should something happen to Willow and Micheal. First, Drew isn't even married to Willow. Second, he'd really be in a better position if he adopted the kids. Finally, third, custody would go to a more immediate family member, one whom everyone doesn't hate. Before heading to Germany to see Micheal, Willow and Drew decided to have some see ye soon sex. Oh, General Hospital. No one wanted to see that, let alone have you trying to make it seem romantic with the candles and the music. Meanwhile, Carly's running commentary and choice of words when referring to her ex-daughter-in-law, Eka the home-wrecking tramp, has at least been amusing. I should have known better than to get my hopes up that we might get a surprise Micheal recast out of the trip to Germany. Clearly, the show will wait until the nurse's ball or perhaps the custody case to introduce a new Micheal. Willow was told her spouse didn't want to see her, but this was a lie. Dirty Drew paid off the woman at the German clinic to deceive Willow. This was not a smart move, as Willow is bound to find out at some point that this was not the truth, and Micheal never knew she was there. Nina has been noting that when Drew gets desperate, he will make a big mistake, and this could be that mistake. Someone just needs to expose the lie. Meanwhile, Nina and Portia decided to hire a hooker, drug Drew, and take some photos of her in bed with him. What could go wrong? I did get a chuckle when Nina told Jacinda that she and Portia had a unique proposal for her, and the sex worker responded, "Please, this isn't the first time I've been propositioned by two women before." Lulu can spin her story any way she wants. She deliberately pitched an adoption story to the paper, likely hoping it would be selected from the 3 pitches because she can't mind her own business. Lulu and Brooklyn's fighting over BLQ's baby secret is stale and tired, and Lulu comes off looking like a jealous teenager who keeps trying to make herself the victim because she is keeping Brooklyn's secret. Someone needs to spill the beans and move the story along. One possible clue was dropped to Lulu that could make that happen. Brooklyn told her that the nuns of St. Ignatius put her baby up for adoption. You know Lulu is going to follow up on that. Still, I don't see Brooklyn's secret being exposed until the nurse's ball. I can already see it. Gio will be on the stage taking his final bow when Lois is heard over a live mix saying, Brooklyn can never know Gio is the son she had with Dante. Molly discovering Christina's commitment papers Diane drew up for Alexis, and then taking them straight to her half-sister, made for some interesting drama between these 3. Far more interesting than the months of baby drama we had to sit through. I laughed when Christina asked Mommy Dearest about the papers while shoving them in Alexis' face. It should be interesting to see how Alexis talks her way out of this. What was the point of Cody getting kicked in the ribs by Tracy's horse? Also, there was more sexual tension between Brooklyn and Cody when she was unbuttoning his shirt than there has been between Cody and Molly. Their banter about her being married, and Brooklyn asking, "Have you seen my husband?" was fun. And if you're gonna put him in this pointless position to begin with, Brooklyn could have at least taken Cody's entire shirt off. Make getting kicked by a horse worth the viewer's time. I've enjoyed Rick and Ava together, but this blackmail scheme of theirs is the pits. Alexis really needs to go to Sonny for help when he gets back from LA. Natalia getting fired from deception couldn't have happened to a more deserving person. But to then cry to her estranged son about it? That seemed out of place. With her jobless and not exactly Jen's and Marco's favorite person, the question again begs to be asked. What is the point of her character? Friday's cliffhanger with a shady nurse heading into Sunny's room post-op to inject him with a drug was shocking. I tell you, just shocking. Not. We all expected this, just like we expect Sunny to survive. However, it did happen right as Jens was voicing to Drew that having to no longer deal with the dawn would be a wonderful day when it arrives. Then again, I don't think Jens is the one targeting Sunny, because if so, it would make it that much easier to take his peers with him dead than this whole referendum plot. Finally, thank you, Tracy, for saying what the viewers have been feeling. We never want to hear the word Esplanade again. I love Tracy calling the whole project a boring sidewalk. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. The week ended with a shock. General Hospital spoilers for the week of April 28, May 2, 2025 tease the aftermath of Sunny's surgery and Portia and Nina's new plot. Carly insisted on joining Sunny in LA for his heart surgery. Sasha admitted to Jason that she took Sidwell's money to be independent for her baby. Lucas and Marco talked things out. Deception fired Natalia, and Sunny backed their decision. Jordan ended things with Isaiah. Sidwell visited Alexis and asked her to reconsider terminating Marco. Emma and Jocelyn hashed things out from their childhood. Trina confided in Curtis about Kay's surgery. Kai told Drew he decided he wants the surgery, and Drew suggested he do a documentary on his journey. Lucky suggested to Christina that she forget what happened and move on. Willow sought out Jason for help with Carly, and he suggested she go to Germany to talk things out with Micheal. Carly called Diane to discuss Michael's custody of the kids, planning to blindside Willow. Carly and Jason argued over the Willow and Michael situation. Tracy offered Ezra money, agreeing with his desire to rid Port Charles of Sunny. Dante helped Lulu move into her new house, and she revealed she got a job with the Landview Banner, writing a piece on adoption. When Willow told Drew her plan to go to Germany, he asked to go with her, then agreed to support her decision to go talk to Michael alone. Chase and Brooklyn shared with Lois and Ned their plans to adopt. When they asked Lois the name of the adoption agency she used for her baby, Lois called Gloria in a panic due to there being no adoption agency, then told them that the one she used closed down years ago. Sunny thought about his kids as he got prepped for open heart surgery. Lulu interviewed Lucas for her article. Then when he told Brooklyn about it, she stormed to Lulu's wanting answers. Danny admitted to Jason that he misses his mom. Molly visited Rick at GH. Then when Diane showed up to discuss Avery with Rick, she may have purposefully gotten her paperwork mixed up with Molly's, letting Molly have the papers to commit Christina. Molly ran into Cody in the ER, being treated for a kick in the ribs by a horse, then freaked out when she read the papers. Carly and Brick waited for news on Sunny. While they were told he made it through surgery with flying colors, a mysterious nurse sneaked into his room and injected his IV with something. Nina and Portia hired the prostitute to simply take photos in bed with Drew after Portia slipped him a drug. Brooklyn and Lulu's fight over her article was interrupted by Dante, and Brooklyn revealed to them that she and Chase are planning to adopt. Molly and Cody hurried to show Christina the papers Alexis drew up, while Alexis got a visit from Ava, asking for more money. Sidwell and Jordan met with Drew about their shared enemy in Sunny. When Willow got to Germany, the receptionist told her Michael didn't want to see her. She left, then the receptionist called Drew to assure him the job was done. Coming up in Port Charles, Sunny's fate will be revealed and Gio will learn some shocking information. Sunny is in grave danger. Alexis receives a gift. Trina and Kai enjoy a night out. Gio turns to Emma for help. Christina and Molly want answers. Anna is suspicious. Marco and Lucas get closer. Tracy reveals shocking info to Gio. Portia walks in on Curtis and Jordan. Drew makes a scene. Willow has an unpleasant homecoming. Nina has second thoughts. Brennan shares his theory. Alexis vents to Lulu. Laura and Curtis confer. Brooke Lynn opens up to Tracy. Drew pleads his case. Laura cautions Lulu. Chase makes a request of Dante. Jocelyn crafts a plan. Maxie receives an ultimatum. Dante and Lulu have an emotional talk. Lois is put on the spot. Nina debriefs with Carly. Mac learns of a crime. Check out the latest comings and goings casting news from General Hospital. Find out if any popular stars from yesteryear are boarding the show this week or in the near future. If any newcomers are joining the soap in contract, recurring, or day player roles, or if any of your favorite actors or actresses are exiting the ABC drama. Chris McKenna is back on the scene as Jack Brennan. Look for WSB's Port Charles Division Chief to hatch a theory on Wednesday, April 30. Perry Shen pops in as Brad Cooper. Look for the lab tech to interact with Brooke Care's Portia this week. Adrian Nkonda returns as Marco, Jen's, and Natalia's son. The character shares sweet scenes with Lucas on Tuesday, April 29. Jen Ray is tackling a new role on GH. The actress has been playing Susan, Alexis, and Diane's assistant at Miller & Davis law firm. Ray previously played Ava Jerome's psychic, Chelsea Lamb, in 2019 and returned again in 2022. Paige Herschel has been portraying Jacinda. Nina and Portia hired the prostitute in a plot to take down Drew. Stephen A. Smith wrapped up his latest visit as Brick, Sonny's trusted security expert. The character said goodbye to Carly and left Los Angeles after arranging his boss's heart surgery. Daniel Goddard returned to soaps as Professor Dalton on General Hospital. Are you excited to see why Professor Dalton is in the crosshairs of the WSB? Here are some fun facts about his portrayer. Goddard was initially pursuing a degree in finance in Sydney, Australia. However, his passion for acting led him to leave his studies and enroll at the Ensemble Actors Studio, marking the beginning of his acting career. He worked as a model for renowned fashion brands, including Calvin Klein and Dolce & Gabbana. One of Goddard's first television roles was as Eric Phillips on the popular Australian soap opera Home and Away in 1995. Goddard gained international recognition for his role as Dar in the fantasy series Beastmaster from 1999 to 2002. The actor is married to Rachel Marcus. The couple tied the knot on February 3, 2002, and have two sons, Ford Martin, born in February 2006, and Sebastian William, born in December 2008. Goddard portrayed Kane Ashby on The Young and the Restless from 2007 to 2019. During his time on the show, his character and Crystal Cullow's Lily became one of the most popular couples on Y, and R. Goddard also starred as Kane's twin brother Caleb Atkinson in the beginning of 2011, before the character was killed off. After a 3-year hiatus from acting, Goddard returned to daytime television in 2025, joining the cast of GH as Henry Dalton, an environmental physics professor under investigation. General Hospital spoilers hint that the writers are obviously setting Drew Kane up for a major downfall. After all, he not only recently manipulated Willow Tate Corinthos into signing over custody of her kids to him, but even Jack Brennan suggested that the congressman is his own worst enemy and will get nabbed for crossing a line. Drew's life is set to shatter. However, Willow getting pregnant could save him. On top of everything else, Nana Reeves and Carly Spencer are also gunning for Drew, but could a baby stop Grandma Nina in her tracks? Drew and Willow made love during the Wednesday, April 23 show, and it felt very significant, even more than any other time they've hopped into bed together in the past. Especially off the cusp of Willow heading to visit Micheal Corinthos in Germany. As Drillo isn't exactly a fan-favorite super couple, there's no need for the soap to carve time out in the show for a love scene between the two, unless there's a bigger reason for it. What if Willow realizes she's still in love with Micheal after their chat in Germany? Then again, what if Drew is exposed for the slimeball that he is, between now and a few weeks from now? Willow may be ready to dump Drew and move on, but what if she finds out she's pregnant? Then again, she could end things with Drew officially, only to decide to go back to him because of a baby. There's also the possibility that GH fans see two fake baby daddy storylines. One with Willow, where Micheal potentially pretends to be the father of her child, and one that's currently underway between Sasha Corbin and Jason Morgan, who are covering for Micheal. Was that Drillo love scene setting up a pregnancy storyline? Join the conversation in the comments section. Catch ABC Soap Daily to see what happens next and visit CTS often for the best General Hospital updates, news, and spoilers. General Hospital spoilers say that a lot of fans can't help but wonder when Micheal Corinthos will return to this fictional town of Port Charles. There's speculation suggesting that he might come back just in time for the birth of his child with Sasha. But if that happens, it'll be sooner rather than later. That's because the May sweeps is just right around the corner. However, there's just one little problem. It doesn't look like Chad Duell will be coming back to reprise the role. Instead, the producers of the show will have to find another actor to fill in for his shoes, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like that has happened yet. That, or the show is just keeping it one big secret. As you can imagine, General Hospital fans on social media have had a lot to say about this matter. Some have even commented with, if it's May sweeps which starts in 2 days, then they've moved their normal schedule around to shoot new scenes to be inserted into episodes long after they've been edited. I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but it would take a big effort and Effie's backing to make it possible. Another fan wrote, whomever they cast has some big shoes to fill. Chad Duell is some great eye candy. And then there was this comment as well, May sweeps. If Willow really goes to see him in Germany, then I'm guessing it will be in the month of May. But who knows, they can drag stuff out like molasses. If it is sooner, it will be something like we see her walk into his room, cut to break, and then we see her walking out of his room. In recent General Hospital developments, Brennan continues to execute a calculated campaign of manipulation within Port Charles, utilizing psychological strategy over physical confrontation. Rather than overt aggression, he wields influence through trust building, subversive empathy, and a gradual corrosion of personal relationships, targeting the town's emotional infrastructure rather than its physical strongholds. Brennan has deliberately positioned himself as an empathetic outsider, gaining access to the inner circles of key figures like Carly. His approach lacks force but compensates with subtlety, employing persuasive dialogue and emotional insight to gain leverage over his targets. This slow infiltration focuses on altering perceptions and trust patterns, transforming allies into unwitting agents of chaos. Willow, grappling with personal trauma and relational instability, becomes Brennan's next focal point. In her emotionally fragile state, she is susceptible to his soft-spoken inquiries and implied doubts about the people she once trusted, particularly Carly and Jason. Brennan doesn't impose. Instead, he introduces ambiguity, causing Willow to question her reality and redirect her loyalties. Her psychological destabilization creates potential ripple effects through the Corinthos family structure, endangering relationships and weakening internal defenses. Rather than dismantling structures directly, Brennan aims to induce a domino effect. He destabilizes Sonny by exploiting his psychological vulnerabilities, subtly influencing decision-making and emotional reactions, while maintaining the illusion of concern. This manipulation extends to Drew through indirect pressure and isolation, weakening resistance without explicit confrontation. Micheal's unexpected return to Port Charles introduces a counterbalance to Brennan's plan. His intuition and political awareness allow him to detect the underlying manipulation affecting Willow. He identifies behavioral inconsistencies, tracks irregular financial patterns, and begins to trace the disruption back to Brennan. Although Willow remains confused, Michael's intervention begins to reverse Brennan's grip, marking the onset of a psychological counteroffensive. In a more insidious maneuver, Brennan escalates his campaign by impersonating Carly, leveraging her identity to issue misleading directives that exacerbate conflict. This deceit causes Willow to unknowingly act against her own allies, all while believing she follows Carly's guidance. Meanwhile, the real Carly suffers reputational damage, as those closest to her question her integrity and intentions. Brennan's tactics extend to isolating Carly by turning family members against her. Willow becomes a manipulated pawn, with her decisions influenced by forged communications. This deepens the divide within the Corinthos family, driving emotional wedges that further Brennan's long-term goal, systemic collapse via internal erosion. As direct control over adult figures becomes unstable, Brennan shifts focus to the next generation, Y and Amelia. His strategy aims to sever their parental bonds and reshape their values through subtle reprogramming. By fabricating legal challenges and orchestrating familial conflict, he seeks to present himself as the more stable guardian, poised to influence their development from a formative age. Brennan's campaign redefines conflict within General Hospital, eschewing violence for psychological manipulation. His strength lies not in confrontation, but in orchestration, crafting scenarios that destabilize trust and identity. The ultimate threat is not destruction, but transformation, replacing legacy, love, and autonomy with engineered loyalty and emotional disarray. In a bombshell development sure to send tremors through the halls of General Hospital, two familiar faces are poised to make dramatic comebacks that could reshape the entire dynamic of Port Charles. Soap veterans Scott Clifton and Robert Palmer Watkins are rumored to be heading backstage at GH, each potentially taking on pivotal roles that promise to ignite old flames, stir family rivalries, and unravel tightly wound secrets. First up is the stunning return of Dylan Quartermain. Fans of the beloved character will be thrilled to learn that the original actor who portrayed him from 2003 to 2007, Scott Clifton, is reportedly stepping back into Dylan's shoes. Clifton, who has become a household name for his portrayal of Liam Spencer on The Bold and the Beautiful, is now rumored to be wrapping up that chapter due to a tragic storyline involving a fatal brain tumor. With that exit, the stage is perfectly set for his triumphant return to the General Hospital canvas. Dylan was once the heart and soul of the Quartermain family, a charismatic, brooding artist with deep emotional layers. His relationships with his formidable mother, Tracy Quartermain, and his rebellious cousin, Brooke Lynn, made for some of the most compelling family dynamics on the show. Now, with the ELQ empire in constant flux, internal betrayals on the rise, and power struggles intensifying, Dylan's return couldn't be more timely. Will he emerge as a savior to restore balance, or will he bring a new kind of chaos? Whispers suggest Dylan may return carrying more than just emotional baggage. A secret lover? A child? A personal vendetta? All are plausible and deliciously soap-worthy possibilities. Brooke Lynn, who has matured dramatically in Dylan's absence, may find herself clashing with the old flame who once understood her better than anyone. What began as a sweet bond could now erupt into a war of values, with Dylan holding firm to his idealism and Brooke Lynn entrenched in the corporate mindset he once loathed. And what of Maxie Jones? Longtime viewers will recall the unresolved romantic tension between Dylan and Maxie. Her recent struggles and longing for stability could reignite that connection, unless Dylan's heart has found another home in the time he's been gone. With love triangles and emotional turmoil brewing, Dylan's return is not just a family affair, it's a powder keg waiting to explode. Meanwhile, in a twist few saw coming, Robert Palmer Watkins, who previously portrayed Dylan after Clifton's departure, is also rumored to be returning to GH. But this time, he may not be donning Dylan's wardrobe. Instead, speculation is mounting that Watkins will take on the role of Micheal Corinthos, a move that could send shockwaves through the show's fan base. Michael's storyline had recently gone cold following a sudden exit that sent him to Germany for burn treatment. Played by Chad Duell for years, Michael's departure felt abrupt and unfinished. If Watkins were to assume the mantle, it would mark a bold recast, reminiscent of other dramatic shakeups in daytime television history. This dual character twist, Clifton returning as Dylan, Watkins recast as Micheal, would pit two familiar faces against the backdrop of fresh narratives and renewed conflict. The idea of Watkins infusing Micheal with new energy is already fueling fan theories. Known for his ability to bring complexity and raw emotion to a role, Watkins could explore Michael's darker edges, especially as the Corinthos family continues to splinter. Imagine the dramatic potential if both Dylan and Micheal return at the same time, their storylines intersecting over family, power, and love. Back at the Quartermain estate, tension is running high. Tracy continues to wield her influence with an iron fist, but even she may be unprepared for the return of her son. Dylan's reappearance could challenge her authority or revive buried wounds. Will mother and son mend fences, or will their battles only escalate? Brooklyn, already juggling her own secrets and ambitions, will have to navigate the emotional hurricane that is Dylan. Their past could resurface in passionate clashes or bittersweet reconciliations. Add Ned Ashton and his ELQ ambitions to the mix, and a corporate and emotional storm seems inevitable. Will Dylan challenge Ned for control of the family business, reigniting the classic Quartermain conflict between legacy and innovation? While family drama brews on one side of town, another storyline simmers with betrayal and heartbreak. Willow Corinthos, still recovering emotionally and physically from her cancer ordeal, finds herself entangled in a devastating web spun by none other than Nina Reeves. As Drew Kane continues to descend into murky waters, manipulative, power-hungry, and morally compromised, Nina sees an opportunity to strike. Enlisting Dr. Portia Robinson, Nina obtains a powerful sedative. She drugs Drew and orchestrates a staged cheating scandal, complete with a hired woman to catch him in the act. The goal? Break Drew and Willow apart, and it works. Willow is blindsided. Her trust shattered, her world in ruins. She cuts off all ties with both Drew and Nina. But the nightmare doesn't end there. In the aftermath of the betrayal, Willow discovers she's pregnant, carrying Drew's child. Emotionally devastated and alone, she seeks answers, only to find Drew arrested and imprisoned for shady business dealings that finally caught up with him. A tense prison visit follows. Willow, strong but wounded, delivers the news of her pregnancy and leaves Drew to grapple with the consequences of his downfall, cut off from her, his child, and the life he once tried to build. As the dust settles, all eyes turn toward the Quartermain mansion. Dylan's return could bring healing or havoc. Tracy will surely weigh in, Brooklyn will be pushed to the brink, and with Watkins possibly stepping into Michael's shoes, the Corinthos side of town is equally volatile. What lies ahead for Port Charles is anyone's guess, but one thing is clear: General Hospital is about to unleash some of its most riveting drama yet. With Scott Clifton and Robert Palmer Watkins both returning to the canvas in potentially game-changing roles, fans better buckle up. General Hospital spoilers gush: Micheal Corinthos could be back from the Baden-Baden clinic soon, setting the stage for a potential emotional explosion with Sasha Gilmore Corbin. Sasha's buried feelings for Micheal, sparked by their unforgettable one-night stand, might come roaring back when he returns. That steamy encounter wasn't just a fluke. These two share a deep connection and undeniable chemistry. With Sasha carrying Michael's baby while pretending Jason Morgan is the father, her heart's in a tug-of-war. Will Michael's homecoming reignite their spark, and can Sasha keep her secret under wraps if her longing for him takes over? Whispers of Michael's summer return have Port Charles residents gossiping, and no one is more at risk of getting burned than Sasha. Their one-night stand proved their attraction never faded, rooted in a bond that's weathered grief and heartbreak. Spoilers hint that seeing Michael again could unravel Sasha's carefully guarded emotions. She's been playing it cool, but the sight of him, stronger, maybe softer after his time away, might make her heart race. Sasha's been wrestling with her feelings, and Michael's presence could push her to confront the truth. She still cares deeply. Will their chemistry ignite, or can she keep her distance? Sasha's biggest challenge? Keeping up the lie that Jason's her baby's father after Michael is back in town. Carrying Michael's child has her emotions in overdrive, and spoilers suggest the charade's wearing thin. Every glance at Michael could chip away at her resolve, especially if he notices her glow and starts connecting dots. The rumor mill is churning that Michael's heart might skip a beat seeing Sasha pregnant with his baby, even if he doesn't know it yet. If Sasha's longing to scream the truth grows, maintaining the Jason cover story will be torture. Can she hold the line, or will her heart betray her? What happens if Sasha's feelings boil over? A Michael-Sasha reunion would shake Port Chuck, but it's not that simple. Jason is tied to the baby lie, and Willow Corinthos' lingering connection to Michael could complicate things. Spoilers tease Michael might feel torn, especially if Sasha's vulnerability pulls at his heartstrings. If he senses her longing, or worse, learns the baby's his, all bets are off. Sasha is stuck between her secret, her feelings, and a town full of prying eyes. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.